Are Canada's universities in trouble? Post-secondary officials are saying a reduction in international students is posing a serious threat to their financial stability. Ottawa is touting a recent cap to international student system as a solution to housing and infrastructure, but universities are forecasting a 45% drop in international student enrollment. That's a much larger hit to tuition revenue than the 35% that the federal government had intended. Joining us this morning on how all this trickles down on the long-term viability of our Canadian schools is Gabriel Miller. He's the president and CEO of Universities Canada. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
So, you do a little bit of math here. It doesn't even have to be university level math. The federal government puts in these immigration limitations for international students. We know that universities financially are supported in part by higher tuition fees that come from international students. What does that look like from schools in this country? What are you hearing?
Well, Anne-Marie, we'll have more official numbers from universities next month, but all of the indications are we've seen a much bigger drop in the enrollment of international students in universities than anyone expected. And in the near term, what that means is universities that are already underfunded are going to push deeper into deficit. But even more worrying is that what's really happening is we're damaging Canada's ability to attract the global talent we're going to need to grow our economy. And that's going to have consequences for everyone in the country.
The government said this was their reaction to part of the housing crisis in this country, but there's a lot of people pushing back on that, saying international students renting student housing is not the problem of housing in this country. That's a bigger issue and a different issue.
This is a really important point. I think all Canadians can see that the federal government is taking steps to tighten up the number of temporary residents coming into the country, and that's partly why it instituted a cap on international students. But university students drawn from around the world were never supposed to be the target of that cap. They're really collateral damage. Universities provide 130,000 residence rooms across the country every year. We're part of solving the housing needs of the country. And what's absolutely critical now is that we don't allow any more damage to be done to our reputation as a destination for highly talented university students who can come here and make long-term contributions to Canada's economy.
Will this lead to increased costs for domestic students?
The immediate financial consequence is going to be we will see universities running deeper deficits across the country. And the way to think of this is universities in many regions have already been weakened by years of underinvestment by provincial governments. And so this sudden drop in international enrollment hits them like an earthquake, and they're already vulnerable. So those deficits will deepen, and they are not sustainable. So if we don't work with government in the next year to have a plan that's going to allow us to escape these deficits and repair our international reputation, then what we'll see is those deficits inevitably begin to take a toll on the quality of education, whether it's larger classes, whether it's poorer infrastructure or less research. And that will in turn hurt the opportunities available to Canadian students and will slow our economy.
You've said that the schools are willing to work with the government on alternative options. So what would those look like?
Anne-Marie, what's absolutely essential in the near term are two things. First, the federal government needs to do no more harm. So in the next few weeks, it must protect university students from any more changes that are going to hurt our ability to recruit the best and brightest. No more restrictions on their ability to come and study and work here in Canada. And the second thing is the country needs to pivot to a global marketing campaign to restore our reputation, which has been very, very hard earned over the past decade, so that the world knows Canada remains a warm and welcoming place for the most talented students in the world.
President and CEO of Universities Canada, Gabriel Miller, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.